we've alluded to it before. The Wednesday, the day before the Tour Championship at the new redesigned Eastlake, there was a new event on the Crater Classic, which hosted, it was 16 YouTubers, online personalities, from a lot of them from America, Peter Finch here from the UK, and they played a live streamed on the PGA Tour's YouTube channel, which right now, as of recordings, I think it's on 1.6 or 1.7 million views. At one point, there was over 100,000 live viewers, which is staggering. Crazy. They played over 8 holes stroke play. The top 4 players then, which were actually, spoiler alert, hopefully you've seen it, was Wesley Bryant, Luke Kwan, Sean Walsh, and Roger Steele. And then those 4 played the last hole at Eastlake as a basically knockout.
I actually love that format. At first, I was not sure, because it's like, well, say if someone's winning by 10, after a silly example, but after 8 holes and they don't win, a little bit like the Tour Championship to a degree. But I think when you go into that event knowing we'll just have to get to 8 holes and have a decent score, I think I quite liked it.
I think to some degree, no one was ever going to get that far ahead.
Well,
really.
No.
Wesley Bryant was 1. I think he was 2 under.
I think so.
When he finished the 8th, and then 3 of the other players were 1 under. Therefore, they got into the playoff. And then in the end, Luke Kwan made a fantastic birdie on the last hole to actually end up shooting 2 under through the 9 holes at Eastlake, which is from what I understand is a very, very difficult golf course. And he double bogeyed the first hole. So he double bogeyed the first and then went on to shoot 2 under par 3, birdied 4 of the next 8 holes to win the first ever Crater Classic at Eastlake. So you had guys like Wesley Bryant, George Bryant, Garrett from Good, Micah Morris, Luke Kwan, Peter Finch, Paige Spiranak,
FP,
Fat Perez, Gabby Golf Girl, Tyler from Dude Perfect, Roger Steele.
Did you mention Brad Dalk? Was it your Dalk?
Brad Dalkey. Who have I missed?
You've got 12 on your fingers. You said there was 16.
4. Come on, Rick. You can do this. I'm trying to not look. I've collapsed. I'm going to have to look.
Oh, there was Buster Jack. I think
Buster Jack, yeah. Oh,
Mason
Matt Butcher. Matt Butcher, who got a little bit of stick, actually, because he which I think is unfair. He's like a bit of a trick shot artist, really, really cool guy. I'm really a big fan of him. And he is a left-handed golfer, but on the first tee, he got a right-handed driver, flipped it upside down, and hit a great opening tee shot, to be fair to him. Who have I missed? I'm going to get annoyed with myself if I don't get out all of them. Who did I miss? There's Micah. Should have done my research before this. Anyway, I thought it was a fantastic event. Really, really well put on. Live streaming it. On-course commentary, in-studio commentary. It wasn't perfect. I still think there's room for improvement. I think you could have YouTubers actually doing the commentary. I think that would have been really good to add. But all in all, I thought it was a fantastic event. For those asking, 1 was on holiday. 2, I didn't get invited. So I couldn't have played because a lot of people saying, why are you not playing, Rick? If you chickened out, and basically I didn't get invited. I don't know why. It would have been nice to be invited, just to basically say no because I'm on holiday. But it'd have been nice to be invited. I'm not sure why not, but I didn't do. Either way, I thought it was a great event. I thought the viewing figures, like I say, 1.7 million. I think it shows the power of YouTube golf. I thought the guys who played the tournament played brilliant under that amount of pressure.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought they played really, really good. Loads of birdies being made. I thought that was awesome to see. And I think it's great for YouTube golf. It just shows the power of online personalities gaining 1.7 million. I think if you did this with 16 PGA Tour professionals, if that wasn't Tiger and Rory, you're not getting 1.7 million views. Not a chance in hell.
I think you're right, and it wasn't a great event. I was definitely tuned and interested. I think the only thing sometimes, as much as I want to big up the YouTube creator space and everything.
Amy Chow was one of them. Amy Chow.
I think the only thing sometimes you have to take with a pinch of salt, and kind of to your point, just piggybacking off that a little bit, is that you're right. I would think that if you did this with however many PGA Tour players, it probably wouldn't do as well. But equally, if we did this every single week on YouTube with the golf creators, it would start to very quickly.
It's a once or twice a year event.
So I always just feel a bit like, as much as again I'm massively behind the YouTube creator space, it's the world we live in. I want it to be as popular as possible. Of course I do. I just think it's always a little bit harsh when people compare it to a Live or to a PGA Tour or even DP World Tour, because yes, those guys get nowhere near the numbers, but they're live streamed every single week. But it's only a great thing for golf.
How do you think I would have done?
Being honest, I don't think ability-wise would have been so much the issue, but I think you would have got super nervous, which I would have done as well, obviously.
Yeah, I think I would have.
I don't know. It's one of those where I think the first tee would have been crazy nervous, but actually the crowds weren't crazy, no. Although it was getting live streamed. I suppose the live stream part of it, would you forget? I don't know. Would you just kind of have to play your game? Who knows?
How did them? I thought right. So it was Wesley Bryant, George Bryant, Tyler Toney, Gabby Golf Girl, Paige Spiranak, Bragg Dalkey, Garrett Clark, Mason Nutt, Roger Steele, Amy Chow, Sean Walsh, Fat Perez, Micah Morris, Peter Finch, Mac Boucher, Luke Kwan.
You did a good rap then.
I actually felt like I did them all anyway. Yeah. I just maybe didn't count.
I think as well, the last thing on that is that
I'd have also, quick one, I'd have actually liked to see him mic'd up.
Yeah.
As well, sorry.
I think mic'd up, but I think the other last thing as well, not to critique it because it was really, really good, is just that with this thing as a one-off, again, it worked really well. I think the only thing I'd be conscious of, although people seem to be very interested, is that it's very much based on ability, wasn't it, of who wins. It's obviously gross competition, although there was that bit of a chance element that if you get yourself into the final group, you could win on a one-hole, basically, playoff. However, not everybody cares about YouTubers being great at golf, do this. There's obviously a lot of creators there who didn't get to play, i.e. Bob from Bob Does Sports, because, no disrespect, he's nowhere near good enough. So you don't always get the best creators there in terms of popularity because they're not good enough to compete. So what are people bothered about who's the best or not? I don't really know. Some people are clearly bothered, but I think not.
Yeah, I think it would have been nice, again, where I think bringing those YouTube personalities like a Bob from Bob Does Sports into the commentary booth would have been better. But
also if you look at like a Good, for example, I know the guys have moved about a bit, but if you look at the kind of who's currently in Good, like Matt Sharp, although he's a good player, he's nowhere near as good as Luke Kwan. No, Luke's since left, but like that doesn't mean that Luke is a more valuable member or Matt's not, does it? Or Bubby or something.
Yeah, I suppose like it's not a popularity contest,
exactly.
Is it?
And also again, FP Fat Briz is super popular and rightly so, but he is probably on par with Bob in terms of popularity, although FP is a much better golfer, but people don't know. Anyway, just something to think about. But then at the same time, how do you have a competition with those different people in? Because handicaps are going to be a bit dodgy, I guess.
It is. Handicaps going to be a bit dodgy. And yeah, I wouldn't know. I think the only thing you could do is have a good ability golfer with maybe a less ability golfer and play like a bit of a scramble.
Yeah.
But then I don't think people wanted that. I think they wanted a 9-hole stroke play event.
Maybe once a year, like you said, have a battle who's the best player.
And then there was a bit of critique about the advertisement. There was a lot of advertisement.
I think that's easier for us to critique because we're not used to it in the UK as much. I think in the US it's just like by the by, innit?
I just found that I think for the very first one, did it need a title sponsor? They could have just let it run and just
people get sick of adverts. But on that note, this episode is brought to you by Ben & Jerry's. Please use the code RICK15, 15% off your cookie dough.